This tutorial was brought to you thanks to the supporters on the screen. Check out TAPgiles.com to find more Dreams resources, donate to support my work, or engage my services to get private instruction or help on a project one-on-one. In the previous tutorial, linked in the description, I took a single sculpt and chopped it up into different parts so it can be used for more complex things. Now let's look at how to add different kinds of lighting to the car. I'll just group these up. Cool. So now, because those are separate objects, according to the keyframes, scope into the group, double tap X to select everything in the group, and then we can make them all glow the same amount. So this will be like nighttime mode. That. One thing is the glow probably won't look that great as if it's casting light in front of it. So if I make a ground to test with, and I'll make it kind of a nighttime sky by making the sun kind of light blue and the sky brightness 0, and probably turn that down as well. So it gives kind of, this would be fine for far away cars, but if you're closer towards it, you probably want it to shine light in front of it. So what we could do is add an actual light, and we'll turn on X-ray so that we can see gadgets through sculpts, and then you can put it like that. Yeah, so because of this grill, it's actually blocking light. For efficiency, it's quite a good idea to turn off cast shadows anyway, because casting shadows needs a lot more maths happening to figure out how that works. So if we get it roughly the right shape, probably angle it down more. Precise move. Make it wider. And then we'll put a mask in front of it to make it look like there's two separate headlights when there really isn't. So I'll use the grid snap. I'm just going to make a sculpt. If I turn on studio lighting, just see how that looks. Oh, it's not casting shadows, so we'll have to turn casting shadows on. So there can be like different stages, if you know what I mean. So when the car is far away, it just has glowing headlights. When you get closer to it, it has this, but when you're within when you're like 100 meters away, then it looks like this with the light without casting shadows. As you get closer to it, it turns on casting shadows and goes through this mask. So I'll turn on shadows now. Cool. And now I'll use a cylinder. Let's turn on studio lighting and make it a bit wider. Or actually, this whole thing probably doesn't make that much difference to any shadows that are being cast anyway. This part even. So if we turn off cast shadows, so the trick is the source is on the face of the gadget at the back, and like a point of light, and then it kind of goes out in a cone shape. So if that is outside of the sculpt, it's going to hit the surface of that sculpt. But if we put it inside the sculpt, it's not going to hit the surface, so it's going to carry on moving. So it's going to keep moving through this part. So one thing we could do is make this not cast shadows at all. So the problem we are looking at is if we make that not cast shadows, then like an overhead street lamp or whatever won't cast any shadows from it, and you'll just see shadows from the wheels, which is pretty weird. So what I'm going to do then is make a shadow casting shape, I think using the original. So if I bring that in again, right, so we have this. Now we can make this one because this is actually different to these shapes because these have all been chopped up and stuff. So we can safely change the sculpture detail of this, and we can make it super low, and it will still cast shadows correctly, hopefully, or well enough to fool us anyway. So then this can just be always cast shadows, and then we can make it invisible, non-collidable, and then we'll turn off preview invisibility, so we can put this in the car. And now this light, this is a very simple shape, so it's not affecting how that light is being cast. Now we can like adjust this, that, yeah, and then we just go into this sculpt, and use the stretch tool to have it stretch all the way down. And now it looks like the kind of beams of a car. There you go, and you can do a similar thing for the back if you want, or you can just leave them glowing. And let's just put that into the group. And make it so it's invisible, non-collidable, but always cast shadows. One thing you'll notice is the light from this direction is casting shadows using it as well. So you may want to kind of round it off a bit so it's less noticeable, things like that. Make it thinner. Make it as thin as you like, don't matter. It can also be low resolution, so you can use sculpt detail to lower that. It does seem to make it a bit fuzzy, so just adjust it until you like it. Cool, and now if I turn on preview invisibility, that looks fine. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to get 5 hours of tutorials early for $3. Here's a preview of what you can learn if you choose to become a supporter.